from the Karlstad University, we have with us Hakan, and so I give you the floor to present your experiences at the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mirella. Hi, my name is Hakan Spjut, and I'm head of the Grants and Innovation Office here at Karlstad University. And me and my team's task is to work within the ecosystem here in Värmland, but also link the ecosystem in Värmland to the national and international ecosystems in order to create value for us as an academia, but also for our partners. So please, next slide. So I will give you a bit of a history here, so we can where I will end up in this final slide again. So please, next slide. Where we are right now here with Karlstad University and our collaboration within the ecosystem actually started up as a development process based on a rather comprehensive OECD study in 2004 to 2007, where we took part of a global study where we were evaluated based on how do the university strategy, both when it comes to sort of content, but also in the way of working, how do we link up with regional actors from the business sector, from the public sector, but also from the civil society. This study, of course, gave a number of recommendations, both to each individual actor that participated here from Värmland, but also a lot of recommendations to all of us sort of jointly. And with the main recommendation, try to get a bit more strategic when it comes to working together in order to create as much possible impact and value for your joint efforts. So that was sort of how can we take that recommendation on and develop from, as we heard in the last presentation there, for instance, for the university to just be seen as a competence node, to be seen more as a driving actor in the regional ecosystem. So that was sort of the challenge that we started to take on from that point. So please, next slide. What we did initially was that we remember this was 2009-10, was that we, on the university side, on the left side there, we discussed internally together with the faculties, where do we see development areas when it comes to research and education at Karlstad University, where we will really benefit from working more jointly with our regional stakeholders. And on the right side, you see the regional stakeholders of that time, the business clusters, paper province, steel and engineering, compare, etc., but also the public sector and to some extent the civil society through the municipalities here in Värmland. So they did the same. They tried to sort of analyze where do they see need of evidence-based research and innovation sort of results that could be part of developing their business or their public bodies. We ended up in a model where we defined 10 professorships, where we jointly then started to develop both our university's agenda, but also the partners' agenda. We recruited professors, PhDs, postdocs, etc., with the main sort of way of working when it came to how can we co-create together with the external actors in order to develop our strategy, but also their strategies. So please, next slide. Just to get a sort of feeling if we were on the right track, we actually did a small review after a couple of years, 2013-14, to see, based on the OECD review, are we taking steps in the right direction? So we introduced a new international review where we could get some kind of feeling, are we progressing together here in Värmland as an ecosystem? And for us as a university, are we taking enough steps to really be seen as a driving actor in the regional ecosystem. And of course, we got some new recommendations, but also we got a feeling that, yeah, we are on the right way. So based on that, we can go to the next slide. We here in Värmland then started to jointly with the university, with the business actors, public actors, started to define the updated regional research and innovation strategy. And at this point, if you remember, the EU acronyms and the EU model, smart specialization, came in, and that was quite handy for us, because then we could together sort of start to create or develop our regional research and innovation strategy based on the smart specialization model, which was very useful for us as a region, but also for us as a university. So please, next slide. We then sort of agreed upon, you can see the specializations in the middle there, with forest-based bioeconomy as the main specialization, and then the rest of them. So if you remember those 10 professorships, all of these investments that we have did in those areas, we sort of integrated them into the new research and innovation strategy, and so that was sort of continue to build on that with the sort of increased requirement on joint efforts, co-creation, and now we started to use words like knowledge valorisation and so on. So this was the next step for us in Värmland, where the university became even more important and more sort of visible as the driving actor for the regional research and innovation agenda. So please, next slide. But in order to sort of get another sort of feeling from some external reviewers, we again allocated OECD. So they spent more than 6, almost 9 months here in Värmland reviewing the way of working, the effects, the results, and the impact that we have created with this more joint approach to research and innovation development for each actor, but also jointly in our region. So from the results that we got in 2007, we now at 2020 were seen from the OECD perspective, at least, as one of the best practices when it comes to co-creation, knowledge valorization, and joint sort of way of working in order to create as much impact as possible from our research and innovation projects in Värmland. So please, next slide. Of course, we have done a lot of detail and fact-based monitoring as well, and that's been presented over the years in different reports. And this was just one example where we have listed more clear effects, results, impact in terms of changes in the business sectors or in the public sectors, funding or financial effects, etc. So please, next slide. So based on the OECD review made in 2020 and the monitoring that we did jointly here in Värmland, we then developed the next version of our regional research and innovation strategy according to smart specialization. And just in order to give you sort of a feeling of the contribution into this strategy, there were at least 50 different researchers from Karlstad University involved in developing the regional strategy. And the reason for why we could attract researchers for doing that is, of course, they see a value and they see a possibility for their research and their research sort of ambitions to create impact, to get partners, etc., etc. So please, next slide.
2 minutes, Haka.
Yep. So where we are right now is that we have, you can see to the right there, you can see we have more than 15, almost up to 20 research groups at Karlstad University involved in in or driving projects linked to the regional research and innovation strategy. We have a project portfolio for the first 3 years in this period 22 to 25 for where we have research and innovation projects at Karlstad University that are linked to different stakeholders in the ecosystem on approximately 60 million euros in value, where we have impact coming directly to the actors involved in the different projects. So please, next slide. And of course, we have continued to do the mid-monitoring to see that we are on the right track, that we develop together, that we both we from the academy, but also our partners in the business and public sector really sort of get a feeling and get clear evidence that we are co-creating, that we are having knowledge valorization sort of as the platform for all the projects that we are driving here within our ecosystem. So I think it's the final slide now. Next slide. So then we are back to our nice house here. You can see, so the Academy for Smart Specialization is the model we have here in Värmland, where Karlstad University is one of the driving actors in both developing Karlstad University as a research and innovation institution, but also to develop Värmland and the ecosystem in Värmland when it comes to research and innovation. So, Mirella, thanks.
Thank you very much, Gan. Thank you for sharing